welcome to Deadly Dames. Claire and I were talking about movies to go see at the cinema this year, and it kind of prompted us to start talking about 2017. And we had a bit of a debate about what was the best movies that came out, and that's the reason why we did this video. We wanted to do our top 10 releases of 2017, and we will do some honourable mentions and some very dishonourable mentions, but starting off at number 10, we went with Happy Death Day. Now, as you can see, you've just got my phone because it's not been released here in the UK yet. But I thought that Happy Death Day had a perfect blend of comedy and horror. And it's basically Groundhog Day, but as a horror movie. And I really liked that it knew that, and at the end of it, it even recognised it. Basically, they ripped off Groundhog Day, but it was funny, it was entertaining, there was never really a moment I was bored of this movie, and that's the reason why we thought it deserved to be our number 10 of 2017.
It's got a nice poster, actually. It was a good poster for it.
I was hoping that was for sale in Logan and I missed it.
I know.
At position 9 was a movie that I feel deserved a cinematic release, but for whatever reason never got one. And yet when we get to our dishonourable mentions, you will find that every one of them got a cinematic release, and it shouldn't have. And that is The Void. I just really like The Void. I like movies where it's a group of people stuck in a place fighting against something bad, and that's kind of what happens in The Void. It's very dark. The only movie I can kind of relate it to is probably Hellraiser, even though it's not the same storyline as Hellraiser. It's just the creatures in it, because it's very practical. The effects are very practical in this, and that's one of the reasons I really loved it as well, because everything goes CGI, and I just liked that this was old school. And again, wasn't bored. And I think a lot of these movies that we've put in this list is because we weren't bored. We genuinely loved the movie from beginning to end, and I didn't fall asleep, and neither did you, which I'm surprised.
I know. I had no expectations of this film, because sometimes you'll pick ones up that I wouldn't even look at twice most of the time, but I mean, this was really, really good. But I think, as Mandy's saying, because all the effects were practical, that it really does make a difference.
And I think it deserved a cinematic release, and I'm not sure why it didn't get one. The position 8, not the second movie, is a movie that I fought for, and for some reason Claire is mental and she has not watched this yet, and I don't know why. And that is Baby Driver. Now, sometimes when Claire's working late and I finish work early, I go to the cinema just to kill time. And this is one of the movies that I went to see, and I really didn't expect to like it. I thought it was going to be like Fast and the Furious, but just not as good. Even, I know that sounds mad saying that for the Fast and the Furious, but although it's stupid, it is entertaining. But I loved this. The soundtrack fitted this movie perfectly. I actually liked the characters, even though I didn't expect to like them, and again, it was highly entertaining and energetic the whole way through. There wasn't a second I was bored for this, and I rooted for the guy the whole way through. I have been trying my best to get Claire to watch this, and leave comments below telling her she's an idiot and that she needs to watch it, because Baby Driver is a really, really good movie, so you have to watch it. But that is the reason why I fought for it, and I wanted it as my 8th favourite movie from 2017. We then went for a movie, again, we don't actually have it because it's not been released yet, so we'll put the crappy second one in its place. But for Thor Ragnarok, couldn't get that out there. Not this one. This one wasn't very good. But how can I say it? Thor Ragnarok was excellent. They took Thor in a very different direction, because up until then he was just a kind of really boring Avenger, wasn't he? He was kind of stiff upper lippy because he was a god. But in Ragnarok they took it in a humorous direction, similar to one of the other movies in this list, that it needed that, it needed the humour in it. And again, it wasn't bored. Soundtrack suited the movie. I didn't know that I needed a gothic Kate Blanchett in my life until I seen that movie. You were the same, we were like, oof. She really suited that part. She was a good baddie.
She was a really good baddie.
I liked it was in space. They kept him away from Earth, and they didn't have Natalie Portman in it. Not that I don't like her, but just her character wasn't needed to put him in space.
There was quite a good feel about the film, though. It
looked like they had fun doing it.
It looked like Masters of the Universe, but with Thor in that world, because it was in space, but some of it looked kind of old, but also futuristic, if that makes sense.
And I really enjoyed it. I think what they've done with Thor is what they should have done ages ago with him. And I'm glad that they did that with Ragnarok, and now I'm really excited for the Avengers because of that. So, I know, not this one, right? Next one is another superhero movie, but I went to see this movie twice. I would have went to see it a third time because it was amazing, and that was Logan. For some reason, Logan got really mixed reviews, and I'm not sure why. I think this was definitely the direction it needed to take him, and he was a lot darker. And obviously you could tell a lot of bad things had happened. The fight scenes were great in it. I loved that stuff had happened which we didn't know, so basically it left you wanting to know what was going to happen in the X-Men universe to get to this stage in Logan. I loved that he was older, I loved that Professor X was older, and we kind of got to see their end, but also the future for like the wee lassie whose name I can't remember. Well, you can't, can you remember?
No, I can't remember.
But also a future for that as well.
No, someone else that I knew who'd seen the film said that she hated it because she didn't like how bad Hugh Jackman looked, and she thought, you know,
he wasn't immortal though.
I know, but I think that was the point. The film was that, you know,
he lived a long time, but eventually had to get old,
to die, and you know he wasn't going to look super muscular and, you know, strong, and when he's clearly, well, in this film,
well, in my whole life,
dying, isn't he?
I've only ever gone back to see a handful of movies twice or 3 times at the cinema, and this was one of them. And I wasn't bored either time. I loved it both times. Did you come twice with me?
No, you went with Alison.
Oh, I can remember.
The second time.
I love this movie. I thought it was definitely the right way for Hugh Jackman to finish his Wolverine run. And I'm looking forward to where X-Men go next. I'd like to see some more of the little girl whose name I can't remember. I thought she was great. She was brilliant in it. I would like to see some more of her. Next, what position are we at? 5. Now we might need to do this in 2 videos because we want to spend a bit more time talking about the number 1 and the dishonourable mentions. So we might stop at 3 for this video, or sorry, our 4th for this video, and then come back for our top 3. But up next is again a movie that got a lot of praise, but I think it really deserved a bit more. I love this film, and it was Get Out. Sorry again, I'm just getting over a bad cold and really annoying cough. Get Out took me completely by surprise. When you watch the trailers to this, it made it sound as if it was going to be a movie all about racism. And there is little elements in that, but it's not what you think.
No, and that's what I loved about this though, is that the trailer was so different from I love films that do that, where they tease you a bit with the trailers and make you think, oh, this is going to be about this, but then when you actually go to see it, you're like, what a twist.
What a twist. But no, this movie, it was very well acted, and it had that guy from like David Cronenberg's son's movie, what's it called?
Oh, Antiviral.
Yeah, it had the actor from that in it, and although he didn't have a big part in this, he was really good, like as a brother. And the whole family, like, they made the feel of this movie so unnerving that even though you weren't in that guy's situation, you literally felt what he did. Like, you were thinking, the whole way through you kept thinking something's not right. I loved the hypnotising scene. I thought that was creepy as hell, that he just kept sinking. And I just loved the whole thing. I thought Get Out was an amazing idea, and if Jordan Peele can produce or bring more movies out like that, can't wait to see them. I thought it was definitely a different take when it came to, because we've had quite a run of movies that were kind of similar formula recently, and it was really, this was different. This was like a breath of fresh air. I thought it was really, really good. So number 4, and then we'll stop this video and come back for our top 3, is another superhero one. There is a theme here, but we couldn't have this not in our top 10 because just the opening scene. Excuse me.
Probably one of the best opening scenes to a film that I've ever seen. It just,
excuse me.
It just
was so funny.
Suited it really well, didn't it?
It's a bit like, you know, in Reservoir Dogs, you know, the movie starts and the whole thing's about an event that you don't see. Well, obviously they did that with this opening scene, and you've got like Baby Groot, who is cute, and if anybody out there says that little Baby Groot isn't cute, then there's something wrong with him. Dancing, and there's like a whole big massive fight happening in the background. You don't get to see any of it, you're just focused on tiny cute little Baby Groot. This movie was very funny, again, but it also was quite sad as well, like when I'm getting to meet his dad and all the stuff that happened. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy, and until they made these movies, I didn't even know what this comic book was. It's pretty much the same as everybody, I think. And Claire and I, we read quite a lot of graphic novels, and did you know what they were?
Well, I haven't really read much in the way of Marvel. I think I'd read a lot of X-Men and a lot of Spider-Man and The Punisher, but
you didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
And it probably made a lot of people go buy the comic books, but I don't know if they'd be as funny as the movie. If anybody's read them, let us know. But I think that Guardians of the Galaxy is perfectly cast with the people that they have in it. And, excuse me, I'm so sorry, but the humour fits this, and it made people sit up and take notice of Marvel when they started releasing movies like this.
I have to say I really liked Kurt Russell's character in this.
I like Kurt Russell, but
I think he was just perfect for it.
I think everybody's perfect in this movie who they've got cast. I mean, see the way they have the scenes where, I can't remember his name, the big guy in Mantis. They scenes, I was buckling with them. And then even at the end where you see teenage Groot, I thought that was really funny as well. But I'm really looking forward to the new Avengers movie, because obviously everybody's going to meet, and we're going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you just know they're going to meet Thor in space, and that's what's going to happen, and then obviously come down and meet the Avengers. But really, really looking forward to that, and I think I would go as far as to say Volume 2 was probably better than Volume 1 of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think so.
And but yeah, so we're going to come back for part 2 and do our top 3 videos. We will do a little honourable mention because it was very difficult doing this top 10. And I'm really looking forward to the dishonourable mentions, because these movies deserve to be beaten.
That's why we're doing it in 2 parts, because she wants to spend about 13 minutes ranting about the bad and a couple of minutes talking about the good.
No, that's not true. Anyway, thank you very much for watching part 1 of our favourite movies from 2017, and we'll see you in part 2.